Hey everyone, Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. So what's going on with EcoFlow these days? I recently saw that they were coming out with a new lineup, their Delta 3 series, and they have some really high-end expensive stuff at the top, but they also had this EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus, and that definitely fit into what I was looking for. So this is the one that we're gonna check out on the channel today. You guys know that I love EcoFlow products. I'm becoming like an eco-holic these days, but there's reason for that. It always seems like EcoFlow just hits a bullseye. They pay attention to what their consumers say, they listen to the feedback, and every time they come out with a new model, I think there's really smart, practical additions to that. This is a really great power station. I think it's gonna be perfect for a lot of people in the community, and it's priced very well. I have a promo code, so check that out. And today I'm gonna walk you through this EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus. So if you watch the channel, you've seen a lot of power station reviews. I assume that you guys understand the basics here, so we can move through some of this stuff pretty quickly. This is a 1024 watt hour portable power station. It's about a kilowatt hour of storage. But right off the bat, what I noticed is that they are designing this to be smaller, lighter, and actually have some practicality as far as being a portable power station. But this thing is like a sports car. They put some very impressive output features on this thing. It's the fastest charging power station I've ever worked with. And we're gonna talk about this EcoFlow XT150, their EB model here, that allows you to connect this to their appliances or even their battery banks. So this thing is very modular as well. Now from the ground up, they're gonna put a battery in here. It's high quality, lithium iron phosphate. It's good for like 4,000 cycles. You're never gonna have to replace the battery in this. But at the 1 kilowatt hour, 1,000 watt hour size, this is a smaller mid-sized portable power station. Its capacity fits on the scale from small to large, somewhere on the top of the bottom half. But this becomes a very, very practical setup for people because you can actually move it around. So if you want portable power, they're delivering that. But when they put that battery in, they have a lot more money than me and you to spend on R&D. So they actually design a battery specific for the product. They'll use different shapes and different voltages so that it's a small, lightweight, compact package that we wouldn't be able to build at home. It takes a lot of machinery and smart people to get things down to this compact size and still pack a big punch. Now, of course, they have an AC inverter on here. That's one of the staples of a portable power station. But one of the advancements is that they use the inverter charger systems so they can save a lot of space. You can plug in your household appliances to this inverter, and they're actually, the receptacles are pointed different directions. They're paying attention. If you have an angled plug or a block style plug, it would always take up the space of your other outlets. So a nice, smart addition from them in doing that. This inverter is capable of 1,800 watts of output. You could run a microwave or a toaster oven, an air fryer off a smaller, cheaper portable power station because of that. This is smart. It's generally considered outsized. That's a bigger inverter than what we would normally use with a power pack this size. But they know people are using those hot water tea kettles, the water heating devices, and different appliances at the campsite where they want to run them for a short period of time. So having the ability to run those appliances, you don't necessarily need a huge battery bank because we're running them for short periods of time. It's very handy, and this is definitely a leading edge feature for a smaller power station. Now, I told you it's an inverter charger. They actually use that same device. Well, that's pretty neat, right? These dust covers are important when you're using them outside, but they're always flimsy and in the way, so nice little innovation there. You don't need an external charger for this. You just plug the supplied cable in, and it uses that same device that powers your inverter to actually charge the battery. So it's space saving, they can use cooling fans. That's how we're getting down to these compact sizes. It's blazing fast. It's like a 1,500 watt charger on a 1,000 watt hour battery, 0 to 100% in under an hour. But because that top 20% is always the slowest, in my testing, my head was spinning with what a 20-minute charge can do for this. A half an hour charge. If you're at 20%, you're at 80% in the time it takes you to eat lunch. This thing is smoking fast if you're looking for a fast charging system. Now, with this inverter style charger, you also have a UPS functionality. EcoFlow calls it EPS. UPS is uninterruptible power supply. EcoFlow calls it emergency power supply. This means that you can plug something into the outlet and plug it into the charger at the same time. You can charge and discharge at the same time. But if the battery is full and you have it plugged in that way, let's say you're running like a fish tank, if the power goes out, it automatically switches to this power station's battery. So at first it's just running utility power through. You're not even using the battery. But in an instant, it switches over if the power gets interrupted. So you have a whole new functionality for your portable power station. Let's say you have a sub pump in the basement or that fish tank we're talking about. If you go away on vacation, you could plug it in that way. And if the power goes out, your fish don't die and your basement doesn't flood. So it's a whole new function for these PPS. It's becoming standard. I love seeing it on this lower price, smaller unit. So of course, besides the outlets, we have some USBs and USB power delivery. You have a 12-volt port on the front. This is going to give you all the options to use power the smartest way possible in portable setups. When we're off grid, we want to use 12 volts DC, we want to use USBs. That's the most efficient way to use power. This thing does have two 140 watt USB power delivery ports. That's faster than any appliance I have that can draw on that, but I'm sure there's new gear coming out on the market that could actually take advantage of a 140 watt charge from a USB power delivery. It's definitely a future-proof setup there. I'm really happy. As far as charging, of course these have a solar charger built in, but this one actually has two, and I think this is really important. You can hook up 1,000 watts of solar into this thing. So if you have that much solar, you could charge this thing up in probably an hour and 15 minutes. But realistically, having two MPPT chargers on this gives you the ability to mix and match your panels. Maybe you have 200 or 400 watts of portable solar panels, but you might also have a big glass panel that's attached to your camper. If you combine those, it decreases the performance if they don't match up. It's something that a lot of us deal with. With two separate MPPTs, you could plug one into one into the other, and get the maximal charge out of both. It comes with a car charger. You use that same plug to charge this up in your car, about 100 watts at a time. It would take you about 10 hours to charge this from your car if you were completely empty. Otherwise, it's a nice convenience item. With two of these, you could plug in two car chargers if you want. I have a video either coming out or it just came out where I show you how to do that with a standalone battery. So that's a nice little hack. Now, folks, I try to move through these features without wasting your time. I'm assuming that you can keep up with me now that you're all power station experts. So what are the overall differences with this power station before we get into my favorite part here, this XT150? This is some advanced stuff, but overall, they delivered. This thing is smaller than most of the 1 kilowatt hour power stations on the market. It's lighter, very portable, but it's got that sports car performance. Its charging is off the charts, and what you can draw from the outlets is ridiculous. It has surge capability, and EcoFlow always includes that like X boost feature. I tell people not to use that. If you wanted to run like a heating element, this thing allows you to double the output of the outlets. It's really impressive, but you can screw your equipment up if you don't know what you're doing. So that capability is there, but you really should be pretty advanced before you start playing around with using that. What's really exciting about this, most people consider either the biggest advantage of EcoFlow or something that annoys them about EcoFlow. It's a little bit of a controversy here. The EcoFlow Extra Battery port, the EB port, it's like an XT150 with a communication wire in there. That gives your EcoFlow portable power stations, especially now that they have a cheaper one that actually includes that, a whole host of capability to run certain EcoFlow appliances or even expand your battery capacity. These are really, really nice features, but what bothers some people is they are definitely proprietary. This is designed to work with other EcoFlow products, and it's hard to hack this to get it to work with other setups. So I'm gonna run you through some of the advantages here, but here's the most important part. If you don't wanna use this stuff, you don't have to. It's still a very beginner-friendly power station that's less money than the competition that gives you these features. So even if you don't care about any of these features, it's still a buy that I would recommend. Well, let's run you through these. If you have an EcoFlow Extra battery, it'll plug in from that battery to this port with the supplied cable and expand this thing's capacity. They sell EcoFlow Delta 3 expansion batteries, but they actually made it reverse compatible, and that's why I own this system. This is my Delta 2 Max Extra battery. By plugging this in together, we've gone from 1,000 watt hours to 3,000 watt hours. So I can actually use the gear that I already own to expand the capacity on this. They have batteries that are up to 5 kilowatt hours. So you can really take a small portable system, and when you have the opportunity, you can merge it up for real runtime. So what that means at the campsite is maybe I put this big old heavy battery in the camper or in my truck. I can move this around with me, run my computers, charge my camera gear. But when I get back to camp, if I have any heavier power needs, let's say I want to cook on electric, I can simply plug it in to my big battery bank here and have some incredible runtime. The sky's the limit with the type of batteries you can hook up. Look on their website for compatibility. I think it's almost every EB that EcoFlow sells will connect into their Delta 3 series. Really, really cool stuff. EcoFlow also sells a smart generator that plugs into this plug. It runs on propane or gasoline. It's really quiet. It charges direct with DC, so you burn less gas, it makes less noise. With that communication plug, it'll run like a hybrid. You can set it to turn on automatically when this depletes and shut off once it's full. It's gonna run quietly with no noise for the majority of the time. The generator's gonna cycle on for short periods of time like that hybrid car. That's some futuristic stuff, but you're not gonna do that with any generator. That's the downside. You need to buy the EcoFlow generator. They also sell an alternator charger that plugs into this. You plug that into your car, attach it to the batteries, you can wire it in permanently. You could charge this at 800 watts driving. So an hour and 15-minute drive is gonna charge this thing up to full capacity. You're not getting that with other brands. So like I said, you don't have to use this, but the future proofing is there. It comes with it if you wanna take advantage of those devices. I also can use that alternator charger not on a car. I can buy a big old cheapo lithium battery, take the place of this one that's more pricey, and actually charge the power station that way. 800 watts from a standalone battery with an alternator charger. They have the Wave 2, the heater, air conditioner, dehumidifier that I own. It's amazing. That plugs into this, but I wouldn't recommend that as a primary system. That's a power-hungry device. It's gonna eat up your 1,000 watt hours pretty quickly, but if you wanna do it, you're gonna get some runtime, probably 5 or 6 hours on eco mode running off this portable power station. So they're coming out with more gear. This little expansion thing, I love it, but it ropes you into the EcoFlow stuff. It's not really designed to use with other brands. So folks, this technology develops fast. It can get real expensive to try to always get the latest and greatest, but if you are looking to add a system, I do love this thing. EcoFlow's completely fixed that annoying fan issue. All their new power stations have the nicest fans on the market. It's like they overcompensated. The old ones made that really shrill, annoying noise that drove some of us crazy. They listened and they fixed that, and they delivered this one right in the sweet spot. I think it's gonna go, I got mine early, I don't even know the price point yet. I think it's gonna be $700, $800. I'll try to get you guys a promo code, but for the features and the quality of this system, there's no way you're gonna beat it. So this would be my #1 recommendation for people looking for that mid-size, 1,000 kilowatt hour system. I hope I covered everything. Thank you guys for watching.